Okay, let's keep practicing here. We have a chance to calculate whether or not we're going to get an A in this class. Seems pretty straightforward. We've got 5 assignments. We need to calculate our grade, but we're also going to return to cell D22 a comment that says whether or not you're going to get an A. And it looks like we're going to run this whole thing from a button right here. All right, no problem. Open up your VBA editor, Alt F11. Move down past our last example. Let's call this one Subgrade. Okay, we have 5 assignments. We need to average those 5 assignments, so let's create some variables for those 5 and then a variable for our overall grade. Basically, for every input you have and for every output you need, if you're new to this, you should go ahead and create a variable. There are ways to shortcuts where you don't have to do that, but it'll probably make it easier for you at the beginning just to go ahead and create a variable for each one of these things. So let's make sure we've got all this. If the average of those scores is greater than 93, you get an A in this class. Return your score, return your, the average right there, and include a comment. Not a problem. Okay. So let's dim a few variables. Looks like even though these are percentages, they're stored in these cells as integers. So let's dim A1 for assignment 1 as an integer, A2 as an integer, A3 as an integer, 4 as an integer, and A5 as an integer. Whoops, let's fix that. There we go. Next, let's go ahead and make a couple of output variables. Dim grade as. Now in this case, if we're looking at an average, we could have decimal places. So let's make this a single, because singles can have a certain number of decimal place precision. And then let's have a comment as a string. Okay, that should do it. We've declared all of our variables, one for each input and output. So let's go ahead and collect our inputs, perform our processing, and then output our results. Okay. To collect our inputs, we're simply going to grab those values off the page. A1 equals range, that is D16 it looks like on mine. Okay, I'm going to do a bunch of copy paste here to make this a bit faster. A2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, looks like I missed D. D16, D17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, let's start stepping through our project with F8 or Command-Shift-I if you're on a Mac to make sure we're collecting all of those numbers correctly. As I go through these, you can see, yep, each of the grades have been taken off this worksheet and stored here in memory, or my RAM. Okay, processing. Next, we simply need to calculate an average. Well, there's no conditional needed for this one. This is pretty straightforward. The grade is going to equal A1. I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around this. We're going to take A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4. Whoops. And I missed my parentheses. Plus A5. There we go. Divided by 5. But I'm not done. I still need to create my comment. I'm halfway through my processing. To create my comment, it all depends on if the result of grade was above or below a 93. So, if you did the last practice, see if you can pause this and figure this one out on your own. That's always better. All right, here we go. If, now we need a condition that returns a true or false value. So I'm going to say if grade is greater than or equal to, 93, then I'm going to have an else, and I'm going to have an end if. All right, so if grade is greater than or equal to a 93, the variable for comment, what do we call it? We called it comment. There it is right there. Comment is going to equal congratulations on your A, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Otherwise, if it's not greater than or equal to a 93, we're not going to handle any other conditions. We're simply going to say something like, I don't know, you fail. Okay. Lastly, we need to output the results. It looks like there's a box here created for it already, D22. Don't forget we also need to output the grade itself, which we haven't done that yet. All we've done is set the values for the grade variable and the comment variable. Well, before we do our output then, let's go ahead and test things and make sure it's all working okay. F8, A1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are now set. Grade is calculated as a 93.6. In that case, the comment, it should go, this condition should be evaluated as a true, and it should go into this comment, which it does. Congrats, you got an A, and then it skipped past the else and the false treatment, and then it's all done. All right, let's change some of these values here. Let's say this 100 is now a 95. Okay, let's stop this, start it again. F8. Keep going. It's a 92.6, and notice it skipped the comment, congratulations on your A, and instead went into you fail. Looks like everything is working properly, so let's simply output the results. In this case, we're going to flip this assignment statement where we assigned a variable to the value of a range. Instead, we're going to assign a range, D21, the value of a variable. In this case, it's going to be grade. And then we're also going to do comment, but on the next row down. Okay, that should be it. Let's play F5. There it is. Now we didn't tell, so a single, we created grade as a single, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decimal places. We can round that to 2 decimal places, but that's something we'll worry about for another time. Let's go ahead and put some different values in here. Let's change this one to 100. Oh, now one thing we forgot to do, we need to set this circle to run the sub. I'm going to right click on it and assign macro. And I'm going to set it to run. What did I call it? I called it, oh, just grade. So notice there's several macros or subs here to choose from because this document also includes the answer sheet. So back here in VBA, don't forget, you have module 1 with all the answers, so it's letting us choose from module 1 answers as well. We're going to ignore those though. Clear that out of there. Okay, so back here let's assign macro to grade is the one that we made. Okay, let's put in some different values. Let's put a 60 here and a 100 there. This gives us a 90. We still fail. Let's make this one 100. Still failing. Let's make this one a 70. Hooray! All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next practice.